Good afternoon, students. It's another wonderful day. I know you love my introductions because you give me trouble about it all the time. So I'm just going to keep it up so you enjoy it and give you something to laugh at me about. This week we're going to be talking about Eastern Europe. I have been battling a cold, so I apologize for my voice. It's not the greatest right now, but I'm going to do what I can. So, looking at Eastern Europe, we have Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Macedonia, Albania. We have a lot of these countries that used to be part of Russia, but they've since broken off and claimed independence recently. And so a lot of their issues either stem from being part of Russia or part of being a new country and establishing a lot of new things. Now, first thing we always talk about is the physical and geography of Eastern Europe. I'm going to let you watch a video that's going to introduce this.
This young alpine ibex is a symbol of more sympathetic times for Europe's wildlife. Once, hunting made its herd the only group left in the entire Alps. But in 1821, Italy created the Gran Paradiso National Park. Today, there are almost 4,000 ibex across the mountain, and these young males, only a few days old, are already butting each other in readiness for their fighting future. Ibex live above the tree line in the Alps and stay here throughout the winter. 2,000 to 3,000 meters up, the strong winds keep the meager vegetation clear of snow. But although the feeding is better higher up, many ibex die in avalanches rather than from starvation. By the end of May, flowers bring colour to the mountain meadows, or Alps, that give the region its name. Although the adult male ibex live apart from the rest of the herd, they still regularly test their strength throughout the summer, in readiness for the autumn rut, their fight for females. The alpine marmots are already competing for their females, although too much fighting overheats them. These relatives of the squirrel are so fat and furry, they have to shelter in their cooler burrows on warm days. Chamois give birth in May and June, and with more than 100 animals in a herd, the youngsters have no shortage of playmates with which to test their agility. The golden eagle is the top alpine predator, though it often survives on animals killed by avalanche. Nevertheless, young ibex must beware. Eagles usually kill the youngsters high up the mountain, as their victims are so heavy they can only be carried down to the nest. The summer sun shines briefly in the Alps, and the first snow soon returns to the upper slopes. Now the chamois grow thick winter coats. The males erect a crest along their back, making them look larger than life. Such displays of fitness are important, because now they must compete for a mate on slopes of ice. As winter sets in, the meadows disappear beneath deep snow, and the ibex begin their ascent to more windswept feeding grounds. It will be a tough first winter for the inexperienced animals born this year. But individual struggles do not detract from conservation's success. Despite the harshness of their world, the alpine ibex are there and still climbing.
All right. So, physical geography of Eastern Europe. Essential question is, how does geography influence the way people live? That's what our essential question is for just about every one of our geography lessons. So you should be used to that by now. Our guiding question for landforms and waterways: in what ways have landforms in Eastern Europe shaped the cultures of that region? You can locate Eastern Europe on the map on a globe by identifying physical characteristics that border to the region. To the north is the Baltic Sea. The southern border is defined by the Adriatic and Black Seas. The region extends eastward to the Russian border. Eastern Europe includes 10 countries in the north and 11 in the Balkan Peninsula. Eastern Europe is part of a large landmass surrounded by seas. The Baltic Seas lie northwest of Eastern Europe. The Baltic is shallow and brackish, vocabulary word, are somewhat salty. Because it is a seawater mixed with river water, the Baltic Sea extends north and almost to the Arctic Circle. Throughout history, the Baltic Sea has been used as a trade route for importing oil and coal and exporting minerals and timber. In some areas, ice packs build up on the Baltic in the winter. Ports along the Polish coast can be closed for several days in the winter due to ice. In the southwest, the Adriatic, Ion, and Black Seas surround the Balkan Peninsula on three sides. The Black Sea borders the southern coast of Ukraine. Europe's vast plains. Europe's landscape includes vast plains that stretch across northern and central parts of the region, and the northern European plain includes Poland and Eastern Europe, but it also extends into parts of Western Europe. Southern and southeastern of the northern Europe plain is the Hungarian plain, which includes parts of many different countries. Within Romania is the Transylvania Basin. A basin is an area of land that slopes gently downward from the surrounding land. Vocabulary: most of the Ukraine is steppe, or vast. Level areas of land that support the low-growing vegetation like grasses. This is the Carpathian Mountains, are located in Eastern Europe. Bulgaria is located on the Balkan Peninsula. It has a mild climate and sandy beaches along the Black Sea coast. The Balkan Peninsula is a mountainous region. In fact, Balkan is a Turkish word for mountain. The Carpathian Mountains run through the peninsula's north and are linked to the Balkan Mountains. The region is so mountainous that human settlements are isolated from one another. This isolation results in cultural diversity among the people, but it also is a source of conflict among ethnic groups. Conflict among the groups within a state, a country, or a region is known as balkanization. There's another vocabulary word. River and lakes. A vast number of river, canals, lakes, reservoirs are found in Eastern Europe. The Dnieper, the longest river in Ukraine, originates in Russia and flows to the Belarus and Ukraine before emptying into the Black Sea. From its origins in southeastern Germany, the Danube flows downward to the east through 9 countries before emptying into the Black Sea. The Danube provides transportation, hydroelectric power, fishing, and water for irrigation. Historically, the rivers transported traders as well as invading armies. Today, many cities are located along its banks, including 4 capital cities: Vienna, Austria; Bratislava, Slovakia; Budapest, Hungary; and Belgrade, Serbia. So the Danube runs through Germany and empties into the Black Sea. Here's the map of the climates we're fixing to talk about now. Balkan coast area and central plains of Eastern Europe have a humid continental climate. These areas experience mild or warm summers and long cold winters. The difference between summer and winter temperatures is between 45 and 63 degrees. The further inland you move, the greater the difference between the highest and lowest temperatures. Inland locations also have more precipitation. Winter temperatures are low enough to bring snowfall. Farther south, in places such as Croatia, Serbia, and Bulgaria, summers are hotter and the winter weather is similar to that areas farther north. Mediterranean climate. Albania and Macedonia experience Mediterranean climate. The same thing as the Greek climate. And in Italy that we've studied last week. Forest and agriculture. The vast plains of Eastern Europe are suitable for agriculture. And in Romania, a major grain crop are corn and wheat. Smaller amounts of crops such as sugar beet, sunflower, soybeans, potatoes are also grown. Bulgaria is a leading exporter of grapes and tomatoes. Serbia's nearly 2/3 of the land is farmed. The major crop is corn, which is grown in 1/3 of farmland, which is grown on 1/3 of the farmland in the country. One of the largest surviving areas of primeval mixed forest is found in western Belarus and eastern Poland. The Belolaskia forest covers more than 460 square miles. In other areas, forests are used for the lumber and woodworking industries. Romania produces and exports more hardwood than any other European country. Belarus forests over 40% of the land. Only half of them are being harvested. Studies are being done to determine how to make Belarus's forest industry more productive. Many Eastern European countries have import mineral deposits. Poland's important mineral resources include aluminum, coal, copper, lead, and zinc. Poland is one of the world's major sources of sulfur. Romania has rich deposits of coal, and it extracts oil from the Black Sea. Extracts means takes out. Hydroelectric and thermal power plants also support Romania's energy needs. Other important mineral resources include copper, bauxite, and raw materials for aluminum. Although Serbia has a few mineral fuels, it has some of Europe's largest copper resources and large deposits of iron ore. Czech Republic produces large amounts of coal. Bosnia and Herzegovina has reserves of iron ore, bauxite, and coal. The country also has several hydroelectric power plants. Fishing industry. With many countries that border on large bodies of water, the fishing industry is important to Eastern Europe. Tuna fishing has been strong in the Adriatic and Mediterranean seas for hundreds of years. However, there is a worry that the bluefin tuna may become extinct in the region by 2050. A lot of that has to do with overfishing and using nets instead of using fishing lines. Organizations are working to put sustainable fishing practices in place to protect the bluefin population. From my understanding, one of the biggest issues that they have right now is that they're running into governmental issues with that. Romania's fishing industry is concentrated in the southeastern area of the country. The Danube River and lakes and rivers near the Black Sea provide much of the fish catch. The European Union restrictions on overfishing have hurt Romania somewhat, but fishing remains important to the country's economy. Croatia has approximately 3,700 miles of coastline and more than 1,000 islands, making fishing an important part of its economy. Fish exports make up about 10% of the value of Croatian exports. The questions that you'll notice that I have been giving are these right here. So as you're listening and going through this, you can look at these questions and you can go back in the text and you can find the answers. Have a good day.